Hello and welcome to Sunshine Haze. As you see tarot cards on your screen, you know it's time for a new moon reading. These are kind of sort of hella late, but if you're used to watching videos on my channel, you know that I do these tarot readings for the whole lunation. So for the Virgo lunar cycle we're talking about here, so mid-September to mid-October. So these are still good for the next couple of weeks. We are currently around the full moon in Aries, so just depending on your chart, the cards that come up today could really have been prominent for you around the moon, or maybe around the full moon, or possibly just been a underlying energy throughout the whole cycle. Just depends. This video is for who are we doing now? My Geminis, crazy Geminis. This video is for you. If you feel like what I'm saying in the video does not resonate with you, go on and check out your moon and or rising sign. I do have a link down in the description box below to a playlist with all of those videos. If what I'm saying in this one doesn't resonate with you, it means it's not for you. This is a general reading, okay? Also in that playlist is the link to the Virgo lunar cycle video. What just fell out for you guys? You got the Four of Earth falling out for you guys, and that is a card that points to slow and steady wins the race is what comes up when this card flies out. So not really sure what's going on, Gemini, but this just really points to really digging your feet down into the ground and really making moves and focusing on the things that you're supposed to be building upon, but understanding that it's not going to happen overnight, okay? And we will do an actual reading for you. I'm going to finish shuffling these cards for you, okay? But what was I saying? Yeah, if you want to know more about what this Virgo lunar cycle has in store for you, go on and check out that video. There's a link down there. Also, because we did have the Aries full moon under this lunar cycle as well, check out that video too. A little bit of a different energy. Got links to all of that down there in the playlist or in the description box below, okay? All right, yeah, so this is just my typical, not full moon, new moon reading, typical lunar cycle reading. Going to be looking at the energy for you guys, Gemini, during this time. Also going to be looking at any crossing energies, and because we're talking about Virgo, we'll be looking at where you need to form some new habits, and then also where you need to have more practicality or organization in your life. And then as always, a little soul message for you guys, something extra to take away from the reading with you, okay? All right, let's go on and cut this deck here. Ooh, okay. I don't know, Gemini, what's all that mean? Emotions. Doesn't that word just make, we just gonna light some Palo Santo for that. Don't that word just stress you out? Emotions. Look, it's not lighting quick enough. Gemini readings always make me a little nervous. I don't know why. Crazy Gemini air. You guys know I was almost a Gemini. I was due on June 20th, but I hung in there until the 29th and I came out of Cancer. Look at me. Look at God. No, you guys are cool. My youngest brother is a Gemini. Definitely a true Gemini. One of my wildest friends is a Gemini. And I love him dearly, but he is a wild one. Jeffrey, I'm talking about you. Some just flew out for you guys again. There's the Six of Cups, and this is a card all about nostalgia, all about returning to a time of happiness when things were simple, when things were peaceful, when things were joyful. Can have a lot to do with family or old friendships. So we'll see what's coming up there. Let's finish shuffling there. All right, let's cut the deck. what is this? This is a position of where you need to form new habits. Okay. All right. Ooh, double whammy. Okay, Gemini. All right. The card said, hey, I got something to tell you. And do they have something to tell you guys? Okay, Gemini. So at the heart of your reading, you have the emotions card coming up. Remember, I was like, oh, that stresses me out. I don't know why. I'm a Cancer. It shouldn't. You've got the emotions card at the heart of your reading, and this is a card that literally talks about what the card says. It's all about your emotions, all about how you're feeling on the inside, all about your heart chakra. What are you feeling? What are you emotionally attached to or emotionally invested in, and how are you truly feeling about that? Not necessarily what are you feeling on the surface, but what are you feeling on a deeper level about the things that you have yourself attached to or the people that you have yourself attached to, okay? This is coming up as the energy for you guys. So this being in the position of the energy that's coming in for you during this Virgo lunar cycle, and we're having this Virgo lunar energy, it's all about practicality and all about looking at things and looking at if certain things are making sense for you. And because this is in a position of the energy and it's, geez, Gemini, this is in the position of your energy. So this time for you is all about revisiting emotional attachments or emotional investments, specifically emotional suppression or repressed emotions. And we'll talk about this card in a minute, but you've got the 8 of Wands coming over it. So it's like the shit that we're talking about here actually truly needs to be addressed. And I believe it's coming up for you in a way that is going to become evident in the ways that you're functioning in your relationships, your companionships, and the ways that you work. So the things that you haven't worked through or the things that you need to address that you haven't addressed so far in life, if they haven't already started to head, right now they're going to. So you're going to be coming up on situations where you might be having misunderstandings with friends and families. You might be having second guesses or second thoughts about the relationships that you're in, and that could be romantic relationships or friendships that you're in. You might be thinking about your career or the way in which your career is playing out and whether it's fulfilling you emotionally. Like, are you truly happy about the way that things are going? And that's in your career, that's in your love life, that's in your friendships, that's in your family life. All about your emotions. And with that being said, thinking about all of those things, if those things are not playing out for you in the way that you wanted them to, you're actually going to have to, during this time with this Virgo lunar energy coming up, going to have to analyze and pick apart the things and why you feel the way that you do. And how you can move those things into a more positive light, okay? Very interesting that this is coming up at the heart for you. You've got, excuse me, you've got the 8 of Wands coming up as you're crossing energy. And whenever the 8 of Wands pops up, it's kind of like a little baby tower card for me. Ooh, that's funny. My book opened right to it. It's like a little baby tower card for me. It's not as chaotic or as hectic as the tower, but it does come in and shake some shit up. The Wands cards are all about action. They resonate with fire energy. So it's all about action, all about passion, all about the things that you truly love, truly desire, and making moves upon those things and actually moving in alignment with the things that you're supposed to be moving with. This is crossing your emotions. So this coming up for you could tell me that, Gemini, you might be acting in a way to where you're not necessarily addressing the things that need to be addressed within yourself or within the situations around you. This could also mean that these situations around you that need to be addressed, if you are blatantly kind of ignoring it or kind of ignoring it so that you don't have to deal with it, something's going to happen, or some things are going to be said, or some things are going to be shifted, or something's going to change into which you're left in a position to where you're like, oh gosh, like that changed so much, I didn't even get a chance to address or get a chance to deal with whatever this was in regards to my emotions. Now everything's different. So now I actually have to shift very quickly if I want to go back and salvage or put myself back on the path to alignment with the things that I'm supposed to be doing, which is clearing out these emotional blockages and lining yourself up with the things that you're truly supposed to be resonating with. And when doing that, you find yourself truly happy, okay? Coming up on the side of where you need to form some new habits, you got the Judgment card. And if you watch my videos, you know the Judgment card is one of my karmic cards, talking all about cycles, talking all about, you know, things that are supposed to be happening, divine timing. The Judgment card, however, is also a card of forgiveness. And when I say forgiveness, I don't necessarily mean people around you. This is a card that talks about forgiveness of the self. So Gemini, where are you restricted? And when you look at where your restrictions are, where have you caused your own restrictions? And that could be in, you know, you creating actions or creating situations and where you feel like you've wronged people or where you feel like you did the wrong thing. And always, because you are an air sign, always going back into your logic, back into your mental and thinking, why did I do that? Why didn't I do that like this? I should have did this like this. I could have did it this way, could have did it this way, could have did it this way. It's not necessarily time to think about the ifs and coulda, shoulda, wouldas. You know what I'm saying, Gemini? This right now is more time to think about understanding that shit happens. And now it's time to not necessarily correct things, but to start correcting your habits and to start moving in the ways that you feel like you're supposed to be moving and moving in the ways that help you fall into alignment with what you are supposed to truly be resonating with. And whether you're ready for that shift or not, Gemini, it's coming for you. You've got the 8 of Wands coming up in your spread, okay? Coming up on the other side, you've got the other karmic card that I read with, and this is the Justice card, and this is in the position of where do you need to have more practicality, where do you need to be a little more organized. And this one is interesting. A lot of the signs are getting this energy of it's all about choices. And for you, Gemini, I think a lot of you right now are being faced with a lot of situations in which you have to decide what type of person you're going to be. And that could be selfish to where you give into the shadow side of your emotions, or that could be a person that resonates with a selfless energy, which in turn puts you into the path of the things that you're supposed to be in alignment with. When you act out of good intentions, good things come to you. When you act out of ill intentions, bad things come to you, and they come to you in a kind of a chaotic way. And you don't want this 8 of Wands to turn into the Tower card. That's one thing I do want to tell you, Gemini. The Justice card coming up, where you need to be more practical, where you need to have more organization. This card is literally saying, Gemini, you need to think very, very long and hard and diligently and meticulously. Tap into this Virgo energy. You really need to analyze the decisions that you are about to make. You need to think about the moves that you're making. You need to think about the things that you're saying. You need to think about the ways in which you are moving throughout your life. You are a Gemini, so you do resonate with this card. If you look at the imagery on this card, you've got a white cat and you've got a black cat. And that doesn't necessarily mean like bad and good, because I love black cats. This just necessarily means there are different paths for every decision that you make. And in every decision that you make, with any shift, things could change tremendously. But with that being said, all of these things are intertwined. However, Gemini, you get to decide your fate pretty much. Like, we do have these paths laid out for us. You see what I'm saying? However, we do have free will. So it really is up to you to decide to fall into alignment with the things that you're supposed to fall into alignment with, or whether you want to travel along a path that is not necessarily the path that you're supposed to take, but it is a choice. And you can find yourself in a very destructive place. Keep in mind, you've got this 8 of Wands energy looming over you. Things can get shaken up. They're being shaken up for you now to show you how to shift. But if you don't take the signs or take the hints, things are going to get shaken up for you even more so, to show you where you went wrong. And that's what we're trying to avoid. That's why I do these readings, to provide you guys with some insight so that you make, you know, not necessarily the right decisions, but so that you can kind of avoid chaos. Excuse me, by way of the moon. You know what I'm saying? All right, Gemini. You've got one more card in this spread, my dears, and that is the 9. Is that the 9? That is the 9 of Earth, and that is coming up in the position of your soul message. And the 9 of Earth is a card that talks about being generous and letting go and sacrificing. When this card pops up, it talks about what's really important to you. And when you're talking about these choices that you have coming up with the Justice card and falling into alignment with what you're supposed to be falling into alignment with the Judgment card, and this sudden change coming about by way of, you know, working through your emotions, Gemini, what's really important to you? Like, is there something in the midst of this that's creating or causing chaos that you're holding on to that you don't necessarily need to hold on to? Do you need to think about why you think that's so important to you, or no? Do you also need to see how holding on to one thing could create a blockage for another? Decisions, choices. This is a card about letting go, giving up what you don't need to make space for what you do. And understand, Gemini, the Saturn is in Capricorn, so it's all about crumbling foundations in order to make space to build upon the foundations that you need to be building upon. Crumbling foundations coming through with this 8 of Wands. Remember, I said this is the baby tower card. Crumbling foundations to make space. Crumbling foundations to clear yourself out with this emotion, these emotional blockages, these emotional traumas, or whatever it is that you need to work through, whatever relationships you need to heal in order to make space for the things that you are supposed to be building upon. You actually got both of the karmic cards coming up in your spread, which is crazy intense energy. And you've got the energy of duality too, which resonates with your sign. So just very interesting, Gemini. Think about the decisions that you're making very, very closely. Really, really lend that Virgo analytical energy to everything that you're doing during this time, because anything that you do is going to have a huge and major shift. Anything that you say, especially to the people or in regards to the situations that you are emotionally attached to, could have some major shifts. Think about it. What's really important? That's your message this time around, okay, Gemini? All right, you guys, I hope that those cards, that reading, gave you some insight into how to deal with this Virgo lunar energy. If you feel like you want some more insight, feel free to check out my Etsy store and book a reading with me through my Etsy shop. Check out all those videos that I plugged at the beginning of this reading, which was really just the Virgo, lunar cycle video, and your rising and moon sign videos. If you like this video, please go on and hit the thumbs up button down below for me. If you have any questions or comments, I do check my channel pretty frequently. I will respond to you so long as it's positive. If it's not, I'm going to delete it. What else? Like, comment. If you're still listening to me talk all the way in, go on and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with when I put out new videos and new stuff, new information. And if you have any Gemini friends, or if you're cross-watching for a Gemini person or somebody with a Gemini babe, go on and share this video with them. Give them some insight into what's going on in that little Gemini head. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I think that's it. I said like, comment, subscribe, share. I think that's it. I'll see you guys next time.